powerful. Yes, Hairless here. Today's reaction is by an artist that I'd never heard of until they kept getting recommended to me in my comments, particularly in the comments of my Dimash reactions. I have not googled her yet. Instead, I've put together some information from the comments that I've received about her, and they said that she is one of the best female singers in the world, often compared to Celine Dion. She is Belgian-Canadian, now living in Europe. Igor Krutoy wrote music for her before Dimash, and she's one of Dimash's favourite singers, and he took inspiration from her. This is, of course, and for pronunciation, as she's Belgian-Canadian, I guess it could be LARA FABIAN or LARA FABIAN. Adagio seems to be the most recommended song from what I could see in the comments, particularly this live performance. Adagio means to perform slowly, so I'm interested to hear this song. Based on the name, I imagine that it will probably be quite an emotional one, a slow, emotional piece of music, and I love emotional performances, but we'll see. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Sorry to pause, but I understand the name now. This is a cover of Albinoni's Adagio for strings in G minor. I see. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I did not know that that'd been covered and that there were lyrics set to it. Okay. The Albinoni Adagio is often considered to be the saddest piece of music ever written. I think most people know it or have at least heard it before. It's called the Albinoni Adagio because it's attributed to Albinoni, who was a Baroque composer, but it was actually composed, I think, in the 20th century. I'm not sure by whom. I think it was someone who was researching Albinoni or something, and they found a musical extract from Albinoni and then created the Adagio, setting the music to that extract. So if we have lyrics, I mean, we're going to hear them, but if we have lyrics, did she write the lyrics herself or did someone else? Let me know in the comments. I'm very curious to see now. I guess it's going to be a sad topic. Hey, very, very interesting. Okay, let's just go back a bit and carry on.
I don't know where to find you. I don't know how to reach you. I hear your voice in the wind. I feel you under my skin. Within my heart and my soul, I wait for you. Adagio.
I have a feeling I'm going to like this. There are already some points that I want to talk about here, and I think context for this piece is very, very important. I remember when I first heard the Albinoni Adagio, I absolutely loved it. I listened to it so many times. I've said this in other videos of mine. I feel that sadder music is able to incite more extreme emotions than happier music is. So in other words, sadder music can make you feel much more emotionally than happy music can at other ends of the spectrum. That might just be me, but with the Albinoni Adagio being branded by many as the saddest music of all time, I'm not sure I agree with that, but I definitely agree it's up there. It's really, really up there. And it had a huge effect on me. So I'm really interested to see what they do here. And the first thing that I noticed is the original Adagio is in G minor, whereas Lara, I'm going to call her Lara, is singing in G sharp or in A flat. So the original and this performance. And to hear the difference in the entries.
I don't know where to find.
This is the smallest difference in keys you can have. Maybe it's that slight change is better suited for her voice. I don't know. But I thought it was interesting. Also, the arrangement itself. In the original music, one of the standout features is the bass line. If you listen out for it, it has equal rhythms, but it's really the kind of the driving force rhythmically here, even though it's maintaining a slow tempo. And in this version, the bass is still a really prominent feature, but it has sustained notes.
Where to find you.
I like that it's still prominent and just very clearly modernized. Right, and then the main talking point, her voice. I like it. It's soothing. She's been singing quite airily so far. Singing with an airy sound, it's a bit of a weaker sound, but it's usually a stylistic choice by the singer. We can hear that she has crazy good control and intonation tuning. And I like her vibrato, which is probably a weird thing to say, I know, but people tend to either have a quicker vibrato, so the wobble is quicker,
Time, I know.
or a slower vibrato, so the wobble is slower. And I think it's fair to say that someone's vibrato is a pretty big characteristic of their voice. Lara has a slower vibrato, which means the fluctuations are more prominent, and I think it suits her voice really well from what I've heard so far. And then I really like the Adagio ending of that first verse. How the gio part is just one syllable, gio. It gives it a bit of oomph. I don't speak Italian, so maybe that is the correct way to pronounce it. Adagio as opposed to adagio. But right now as I hear this, I think that going adagio is a musical decision to add effect. Okay, cool. Let's carry on.
All of these nights without you, all of my dreams surround you. I see and I touch your face. I fall into your embrace. When the time is right, I know you'll be in my arms. Adagio. I close my eyes and I find a way. No need for me to pray. I've walked so far, I fought so hard. Nothing more to explain. I know all that remains is a piano that plays.
Yeah, it's nice, and yeah, I just love this version. The song itself is nice, the music's great, it just makes me feel emotional, and I think this cover really does it justice actually. It's so interesting to see this song with words, and the words are nice, the lyrics are nice. Right, so we've moved away from this airy voice, now we're starting to see a bit more power behind her voice.
All of these nights without.
Now it starts with a bit more of a full voice and then it ends quite airily, but then we don't get the airy voice anymore after that. She's growing as the performance is progressing. And again, the adagio, I just like those adagio moments that finish off the verses. I pointed out the first time, I'm pointing it out again. When I hear that, I know that's a powerful voice. Even though it's not high, you can just tell that that is a voice that has power. Which then leads into this phrase. And there she uses no vibrato at all until the last note. And this phrase is actually more difficult than it might seem in terms of tuning. We get... When it comes to singing precisely in tune in music, the musical context is so important. This little phrase, we go a half step up and then a full step down. It's chromatic and tricky, and the musical context for that will probably be quite peculiar or non-standard to make it work. It's also easier to sing in tune when you use vibrato because the vibrations can kind of cover up any small tuning issues. So her choice to go with no vibrato on Find just makes it sound a bit purer and is showing off how good her tuning is. And then just before we carry on, I just want to point out the arrangement. You know, I really like it. It's a great homage to the original. I remember hearing the original Adagio being described as neo-baroque, with neo meaning new. And this is similar. We have the band, the modern instruments, but we have the orchestral instruments as well. And the music itself, they've kept in all the suspensions that create tension between chord changes. A suspension being when a note is held from one chord into the next chord when the chord changes, and it doesn't quite fit, which causes tension. Okay, let's carry on. Okay, it's building up. It's building up. We've just had this key change. She's moving up. So after the previous pause, there was a key change immediately after we started playing. So we've gone from G sharp to A, a half step up. So from that section, we're a whole step up from the original. Now we're here. But then when we get the next key change, if you can call it that, what's really happening is we're expecting to go back to A, but instead we end up in C sharp, which is quite a bit higher. So now that's allowing for her to really, you know, go to the top of her range. Well, I don't know what the top of her range is, but it will certainly allow her to sing higher in that chest voice and create this more powerful sound. I've noticed that the majority of her performance so far has been in her chest voice. She's not going into extreme high head voice or doing any whistle notes or anything, which I thought might be the case based on her comparisons. It's a very, very powerful voice, and I'm just wondering how it doesn't get tired, such as here. That's quite high. That's a D up here. And then, of course, powerful. It's interesting because if you told me that someone was going to be singing the famous Albinoni Adagio, I wouldn't expect a voice like this. I'd probably default to a gentler overall feel, quite dramatic in a more quiet sense. But this is dramatic in a larger sense. Powerful voice, great arrangement, loads of instruments. It works really well. All right, let's carry on to the end. Gee, yeah, that's a powerful voice, isn't it? I wonder how many times I've said powerful in this video. Yeah, and I like how there were certain parts as well that changed just to exaggerate what she was doing then, such as here. You see that temporary change in rhythm in the instrumentation as she's going up there? She's going up to that E, which is the highest note we've heard her sing so far, belting it up there. And then we had this bit, which I really like. With her head banging, it's quite rocky, you know? I wasn't expecting that, the stressed second, third and fourth beats. And on that note, I found this bit quite interesting actually, earlier on. Her head bopping and her whole body's kind of moving with it. She's obviously a great performer with great stage presence. I can see how she might have been an inspiration for Dimash. And what an ending as well. Honestly, for the whole last minute or so, I thought that her voice was going to split or crack. I think he has to. She, you know, it must be so much strain on it, but she does it so well. Obviously, great technique. Again, so powerful. All right, cool. Well, that's another new artist. I don't know why I've not heard of her before. Is she really famous? Should I be embarrassed about that? Either way, happy I have. I really like that. And what a great new setting for Albinoni's Adagio. All right, let's leave it there. As always, thank you very much for watching. Would appreciate a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.